So a little while ago we put up a video on how to fit an ST bumper to a non-ST, taking a quick look at the process, answering the common questions we get. And I figured it's only fair that to follow that one up, we take a look at what is probably the second most asked about part on Mustard. So along with, of course, the ST front end, it also features the ST back end, although this is where things get a little more complicated. So a lot of people will see this and they assume that it is nothing more than just a factory ST Valance swapped onto a sedan. They think it's that straightforward. Unfortunately, it is not. And so I want to highlight that today and answer the common questions regarding this piece. So before we get into the part itself, I should rewind a little bit and kind of explain why this one is not so straightforward. So the third generation Focus, when you look at the sedan and the hatch, they are very similar cars. From the very front up to about, call it roughly the rear wheels, they're almost identical in fact. Basically, B-pillars forward, a sedan and hatch are identical. Back here is where you start to get into the roof line being a bit different, so you have different headliner, roof rails, glass, etc. And behind the rear wheels is where things are completely different. So a sedan is actually several inches longer than a hatchback, which is the key here. And given that up to the rear wheels they are basically the same car, that means all of that additional length is right there. So why is this important? Well, I've got here a couple of parts that as you can tell from the dust, I just dug out of my storage. This is my original Valance from Mustard, so an original sedan Valance. This is the original bumper off Didnt, the hatch, and you can see here where I'm going with this. You can see the length of the hatch rear valance versus that of a sedan. So this is why putting an ST rear on a sedan is not as easy as just finding a hatchback and bolting the part on. If you try and fit not just the ST Valance, but any hatch Valance for that matter, the back will fit pretty well, but it's when you get to the sides of the bumper that it will, of course, end fairly short of the rear wheels, leaving you all of this dead space to then somehow make up. So unfortunately for those of us with only 4 doors, it's not as easy as finding a hatchback and transferring all the parts. We had to do something else here, and this is where, rewinding the clock 5 years, I think it is now, Rebel Devil Customs came to the rescue. So if you've been around the Mark III Focus world for any length of time, Rebel Devil Customs is a name which should be somewhat familiar to you. They are the folks who figured out the ST conversions in the first place and have made a lot of parts for the community over the years. And this is one of those pieces. So what you see here, the lower valance, keep in mind the upper bumper is still the original OEM Ford piece. The lower valance, this is the Rebel Devil Customs ST Sedan Valance. This is a piece they introduced about 5 years ago now, I believe, 2015. And as the name implies, it's an ST Valance sized for a sedan. So this is not a factory piece off any car. This is a custom produced piece from RDC. How they did it is they took a factory ST Valance and then using Jose's old sedan Tabasco, they mounted it on the sedan bumper and then lengthened the sides, rearranged it a bit in order to fit the profile of the sedan bumper. And once they had that finished, they pulled a mold and started producing these. So this is a fiberglass piece, fits into the original bumper mounting locations, and it gives the look of an ST while fitting the longer sedan bumper. So there were actually 2 versions of this. The one Mustard wears is the full fiberglass piece. RDC also offered one with a carbon fiber section right around the exhaust tip, which you could leave exposed if you so chose. I went for the full fiberglass, Jose went for the carbon fiber and fiberglass, and then what was kind of cool with these is when RDC was even making these before they were introduced, we were in on the whole project and our cars were then used as the two to debut the product. So Jose, given that his car was the one used to actually make the molds, he received the very first copy. And like I said, he went for the one with the carbon fiber around the exhaust tip. And then I received the second ever, which was the first full fiberglass piece. So sadly, no, you cannot get a factory ST Valance and throw it on, you do have to get the RDC piece. Also, unfortunately, as of the time of this filming anyway, they are not making these anymore. They do still have some in stock. However, you know, I don't know of any plans to do another production run. They made some. They went out to some cars in the community. People bought them, people love them, but it's 5 years on now, and yeah, as of right now, they're not really producing these. So you can still get some from RDC, otherwise you'll have to look for a used one. But that is how we got an ST Valance onto a sedan. Now, I will point out that the reflectors and the grills here are indeed OEM Ford pieces. They are straight off an ST, so that is a factory piece, but the Valance itself, of course, is not. All right, we're quickly jumping ahead. This is future Bill cutting in for past Bill. Busy here working on Brian's car, and I realized I forgot to mention one quick thing. I'm sure someone will ask why we didn't look into an estate Valance for the sedan bumper, given that there are ST estates in the world and they are naturally longer than the hatches. First thing is we don't have them here, so you know, we'd have to look into importing a Valance. That'd take some time and effort, and who knows if it would even fit properly. However, the key reason we didn't do it is because the estate Valances, the ST estate Valances, are actually a different design. You'll see here the reflectors are mounted above and separately from the little grill trim piece things. The ST estates actually have the reflectors inside those grills, so it looks a little bit different. We wanted this style to match what we have here on our hatches, keep it looking similar. And personally, I prefer this style to the estate style. Maybe other people feel differently, but this is the one I wanted. So, quick cut in while we're working on this again. Now back to past Bill to finish up the original video. So I realized that this is not the answer I'm sure most of you will have been wanting. However, sadly, not everything from an ST does fit a sedan. This is where things get a little bit more complicated. Regardless, that hopefully answers the questions that I know a lot of you have about these. I will have in the description box below all of the appropriate links for this, links such as the original posts on the site when these products were first released, any posts relating to the fitting of them on Mustard. I do have some photos from the body shop showing a bit of the process there, so that will all be linked below. You can follow those if you want more info. Otherwise, I hope that has helped if you're curious about how we got the back end to look like an ST to match the front end. And as always, if you have any more questions about anything else in this car or any of the other cars, let us know and we will do some more videos and posts to answer them. I know, for instance, the wing and these taillights are also fairly common topics of questions coming our way, so we might do some on those. Otherwise, that will be it for now. As always, thank you for watching.